naked American man stole my balloon.
What?
What did I do last night?
You don't remember?
The last remaining werewolf must be destroyed. It's you, David. Run!
Good Lord.
John, you obviously love movies. It shows in all of your work. Do you have a special love for the horror genre, though?
Monster movies, yeah. I mean, when they say horror genre, it's an interesting thing, you know, that Karloff and Chris Lee, for instance, all those guys always object to the word horror, because horror, Karloff used to say, that's what you see when you see a dead child is horror. We make terror films, he would say. But in fact, it's interesting, because I like to clarify that this is a monster movie. It's certainly horrific, but I just want to separate it from the recent spate of maniacs with knives and axes killing nubile teenage girl movies.
It's a nice return to that era of the 40s, the Universal era. Well, but of all the monsters you could have picked, and there were a lot of them, why did you pick the werewolf?
Well, mainly because I wanted to, A, find something really ridiculous. I mean, that the idea of the movie was to take something, a basically absurd premise, which is, you know, at the full moon, man turns into wolf and kills, and make it totally real. And the werewolf also, honestly, it's the only beast, monster, mythological beast, then, that is international, totally universal. It's, besides Universal Studios, it's also in every single culture in the history of mankind, in every culture, in every country. They have a were-beast, a man into animal. I mean, then there's famous werewolves like Romulus and Remus or Pecos Bill. The whole fascination with the moon, the fact that the city police forces of Oakland and San Francisco and every city in the world have more cops on during full moons because of the increase in violent crime.
Yeah, but now you scoffed the silver bullet theory in your film.
Well, no, the silver bullet theory, you see, that's just part of the whole premise of the movie, which is treating it straight, because the silver bullets were invented by Kurt Siedlmach, who was a Universal screenwriter during the 40s. I mean, most of what we accept as this great ancient lore of vampires and stuff was invention, recent invention within the last 200 years. Bram Stoker was Henry Irving's stage manager. Mary Shelley, you know, was a poet. I mean, these H.G. Wells was a middle-class guy. I mean, these are all fairly recent inventions. The beasts are aged, but most of the mythology that goes with it was invented.
How do you approach your film to make the monster or the horror or whatever you want to call it work? What's your philosophy behind what makes it work?
Well, this particular movie, what makes this movie unique, I think, is the fact that we're treating it totally straight. What happens in a lot of contemporary horror films lately is that they almost like can't do it straight. It becomes either very pretentious and pompous, you know, with metaphysical reasons for this or that and the other, and love conquers or God or something, or they become real tongue-in-cheek, like, we're not really serious about this, folks. You know? So what we did was the idea of taking a supernatural, a monster, and making it real, to real people, to very sympathetic, attractive, intelligent people. And no one in this movie does anything really stupid. In Jaws, which I love Jaws, a good monster movie, you have Rick Dreyfuss gives this great speech, the shark is a killing machine, it kills, it lives to kill, you have got a chance, you better leave now. Then puts on a scuba suit and goes in the water.
Goes in the water,
Or an alien, when it's like, there's a monster on board ship disemboweling people. It's, excuse me, I think I'll go in this dark room by myself, for no reason. I'll be right back.
Your characters are right on the moor, and they hear the werewolf in the distance, and they become frightened, and they start to run. And I think that's what you mean by realistic. That's the way most people would react.
Oh, I think they react very realistically throughout the whole film. And even with the concept of lycanthropy. I mean, the guy thinks he's going loony, you know.
How are you going to top yourself after this? Are you going to continue to work in this field, or are you going to other subjects?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, what I'm getting a lot now is, this is quite a departure for you, John, having made comedies. I don't consider myself a particular genre filmmaker. I mean, I make, like, weird John Landis movies, you know. I mean, I want to make everything, westerns, war movies, love stories, music.
I read you were thinking about producing The Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D. Is there any truth to that?
I'll say that Jack Arnold, right now, is preparing a script for himself to direct.
Would you be involved at all?
As on the production end, yeah.
Are there any other projects that you might like to sink your teeth into?
So to speak. No, I'm involved in a bunch of other things. I'm really not interested in being an executive producer, because basically that's a way that a lot of young filmmakers I know have of picking up some extra bucks for doing nothing. But, no, I want to make my movies, not other people's movies. The Creature is an interesting thing, because if it works, it will be unique in that a filmmaker actually has the opportunity to remake his own film 35 years
Something
later.
almost unheard of. Yeah. What makes John Landis tick?
John Landis
Yes.
tick?
What makes you tick? What do you live for? Movies? Is it entirely movies?
Sex.
Movies.
Well, what do you mean? I love movies. I love film. I mean, I consider myself very privileged and lucky to be actually making a good living at something I really enjoy doing. And what makes me tick? That's an interesting one. Mostly, the moment I'm real scared about our country. I'm real worried about the present administration. Open villainy in the White House. I mean, that scares me. I'm scared.
There's a theme for a film there somewhere.
I just made it.
Are you telling me it's a political allegory now?
It wasn't intended, but since Reagan's elected, I have no choice, folks. That's what it is.
Where did you and Rick Baker develop your rapport? You seem to work very well together.
Well, I met Rick on Schlock, which I was on this show, I think, 10 years ago to promote. I was looking for someone to do the makeup on Schlock, and we had $60,000 made in 11 days. We didn't have much money. And I was told about this kid in Covina. So I go, well, all right, and I drive out there, and I'll never forget it. I went with Jim O'Rourke. The two of us went into this, tract home in Covina and meet Mr. and Mrs. Baker, like American Gothic, hello, lower middle class, and we go inside. Here's Rick. This kid has long hair and a beard. Oh, no, he's clean shaven. He just had real long hair. Hippie. How are you? And I make monsters. Oh, hello. And we go into this room, and I look around, and I see the stuff on the walls, and I go, this guy's great. I'll never forget. It's like, we got to get this guy. And he did the makeup for Schlock, and, I mean, his credits are pretty extensive since then. He's truly brilliant. I'm a big fan of his. It's a pain in the ass, but he's brilliant.